Good day everyone, I am Wadi Suslan and I'm the second presenter of Group 5, which is the last group. So my topic is identification and assessment. Hearing loss is measured in decibels, indicating the intensity or loudness of sound. So, yung pagkabingi ng isang tao is na-measured siya sa decibels or units, indicating the intensity or loudness of sound. So, na-measured yung pagkabingi ng isang tao is na ano siya sa lakas ng sounds, kung gaano kalakas yung isang sound sa area. So intensity refers the energy of sounds over an area, just like what I've said, na ma-measure yung pagkabingi ng isang tao is kung gaano kalakas yung sound sa isang area na yun. So normal human hearing range from 20 Hz to 20 kHz, with speech typically in 500 to 2000 Hz range. Here's the hearing levels categorized as follows. So we have normal hearing, mild loss, moderate to severe loss, profound loss. So let's begin with normal hearing, which is measured from 0 to 25 dBHL. Normal hearing people, they can hear soft sounds. So example, they can hear even the whisper because they have normal hearing. Kahit yung mga bulong-bulong, kahit yung may nagabulungan sa tabi niya na nag-uusap, naririnig niya because they have normal hearing. So the second one is mild loss, which is measured from 25 to 40 dBHL. People in here is they have trouble hearing soft sounds. They need to ask people to speak up. Ito yung mga tao like pinapaulit kung ano yung sinasabi ng kausap nila kasi hindi nila naririnig ng maayos. Kasi troubled na sila sa mga may hinang sounds. The third one is moderate loss, measured from 40 to 55 dBHL. The people in here is trouble hearing conversations. They struggle to hear conversations. So nag-struggle na sila makarinig ng mga usap-usap. So the fourth one is moderate to severe loss, measured from 55 to 50 dBHL. So dito yung mga sa gitna ng moderate loss. So let's proceed to severe loss. Severe loss is 70 to 90 dBHL. Ito yung mga taong they can only hear loud noises. So yung mga taong na nakakarinig na ng mga malalakas na ingay. So the last one is we have profound loss. The people in here is yung mga they can't hear most sounds. So ito na yung mga taong hindi na talaga nakakarinig ng mga ibang sounds. So now let's proceed to the health professionals and their roles in hearing care. So we have three. The first one is doctor or general practitioner. So the second one is audiologist. The last one is otolaryngologist. So the doctor and general practitioner is they conduct basic hearing screenings and refer patients to suitable healthcare specialists. So yung mga doctor is sila yung gumagawa ng basic hearing check. Sila yung nagsasabi kung ano yung problema sa pandinig natin, and sila din yung nag-measure sa sila yung nag-recommend kung saan specialist tayo pupunta. So the second one is audiologist, an expert in assessing and providing non-medical interventions for hearing loss. So yung audiologist is sila yung role nila is yung non-medical interventions. Sila yung nagsasabi kung ano yung kailangan natin gawin. For example, kung ano yung kailangan natin. For example, we need hearing aids. So sila din yung naga-test ng hearing aid natin. And sila din yung naga-measured. So the last one is otolaryngologist, a specialist physician focusing on the medical and surgical care of patients with disease and disorders affecting the ear, nose, throat, and other components in the head and neck. So, yung otolaryngologists, sila yung mga expert sa medical and surgical. Sila yung nagsasabi kung kailangan ba natin kung kailangan ba natin i-opera yung tenga natin, and sila din yung naga-opera. So, and now let's proceed to the pure tone audiometry summary. Pure tone audiometry measures a person's ability to hear specific pure tones to determine the type and severity of hearing loss. So, dito is yung tinatest yung hearing, dito is yung ginatest yung hearing natin. So, may nilalagay sila headphones sa atin, and may paparinig sila sa atin mga iba't ibang frequencies. So, we have 3 methods. Manual audiometry, also known as conventional. Automatic audiometry, also known as Baker's audiometry. And the last one is we have computerized audiometry. So, manual audiometry is, ito yung, just like what I've said, may ilalagay sila headphones sa atin. Tapos may ipaparinig sila sa atin na iba't ibang frequencies kapag may narinig tayo, need natin yung sabihin sa audiologist kung ano yung narinig natin. Yung audiologist naman is i-record nila kung ano yung sasabihin natin sa kanila, and kung ano yung naririnig natin. So, manual siya. So, the second one is automatic audiometry. So, dito is automatic na siya. Kung doon sa manual is need pa natin sabihin sa audiologist kung ano yung sasabihin nila, tapos i-record pa nila. Dito is may kailangan lang tayo ipindot para ma-record yung para ma-record yung narinig natin. So, yun ang pinagkaiba nila. So, the last one is we have computerized audiometry. Computerized na siya. For example, automated pa as automated. Not like sa dalawa which is manual and automatic. Sa manual kailangan pa natin sabihin, kailangan pa natin magsalita. Sa automatic is may need pa tayo ipindot. So dito sa computerized is may ano lang, parang computer na yung bahala mag-record sa kung ano yung narinig natin. So yun yung pinagkaiba nila. Now, let's proceed to speech audiometry. Speech audiometry uses speech as a stimulus to evaluate an individual's ability to perceive and understand spoken language, both in quiet and noisy environments. The speech reception threshold, SRT, is the decibel level at which a person can comprehend speech. It's typically determined by presenting two-syllable words and identifying the threshold where 50% of words are understood. So, speech audiometry evaluates how well a person understands speech in different environments. For example, a patient might be asked to repeat words or noise. The audiologist would measure the patient's speech reception, SRT, which is the decibel level at which they can comprehend speech 50% of the time. So, dito is gina-measure kung gaano kahusay yung maintindi ang isang tao sa words sa iba't ibang situation. So, alternative audiometric techniques. Play audiometry. This technique involves instructing children to perform specific tasks like retrieving the toy or placing a ball in a cup when they hear a signal, either pure tones or speech. So, play audiometry is used with children, typically those aged 2 to 5 years. The child is instructed to perform a task like putting a block in a bucket when they hear a sound. So, dito is yung mga children is binibigyan sila ng task para ilagay yung mga block into a bucket pag may narinig silang sound. So, the second one is operant condition ng audiometry. Child is rewarded for pressing a button when a light and sound are presented simultaneously. So, this method uses rewards to teach children to respond to sounds. A child's learn to press a button when they hear a sound and see a light. So dito is binibigyan ng reward yung award yung mga bata pag natuto sila mag-press ng button pag may naririnig sila or nakikita. So, behavior observance or geometry. It involves gradually increasing an auditory stimulus and observing consistent behavioral reactions such as head turns, eye blinks, or cessation of play to determine their response to sound. This non-invasive method observance enhances our young children's natural response to sounds such as head turns or change in behaviors. For example, they are obserbahan nila yung behavior ng babies, ganyan. Kung for example, mag-iingay sila, magme-make sila ng sound, titingnan nila yun kung mag-head turns ba yung baby or mag-eye blink, ganon. So, parang gina-obserbahan nila kung ano yung reactions ng baby. So, these techniques help audiologists assess hearing in individuals who may not be able to respond to standard audiometric tests. So, that's all. Thank you for listening.